Welcome back to Broadcasting Seeds, the podcast where we dive deep into the strange, the unexplained, and the downright bizarre, planting seeds of curiosity in your mind that might just grow into a forest of understanding. I'm your host, Bennett Tanton, and today we're venturing into one of the most hotly debated and tantalizing topics out there: UFOs and government disclosure. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bennett, aren't we done with the tinfoil hats and little green men? Well, hold on to your skeptic hats, folks, because this episode is going to take you on a wild ride through history, science, and a little bit of philosophical pondering. Whether you're a die-hard believer or a steadfast skeptic, there's something here for everyone. We're going to break this down into 5 mind-bending sections. First, we'll take a trip down memory lane with a historical overview of UFO sightings and how governments have responded. Then, we'll hear from those brave souls who've blown the whistle on what they claim to know. In our third segment, we'll get all science-y and talk about what the boffins in white coats have to say about extraterrestrial life. Our fourth segment will look at the recent moves towards government transparency and the public's reaction. And finally, we'll wrap up with some deep thoughts on what it all means for us humans and our place in the universe. Let's kick things off with a little history lesson. Don't worry, this isn't the boring kind you slept through in school. We're talking about UFO sightings and how governments have danced around them like they're the world's best-kept secret. Our journey begins in the 1940s with the infamous Roswell incident of 1947. Picture this: a rancher stumbles upon mysterious debris in New Mexico, and before you can say flying saucer, the U.S. military swoops in, scoops it up, and gives us a story about a weather balloon. But come on, folks, a weather balloon? That's like finding Bigfoot and saying it's just a hairy hiker. Fast forward to the 1960s, and we've got the Project Blue Book. This was the Air Force's attempt to investigate UFO sightings systematically, or at least give the appearance of doing so. They looked into thousands of reports, but surprise, surprise, most were explained away as weather phenomena, man-made aircraft, or just plain old misidentifications. But a few cases, well, they remained stubbornly unexplained, fueling the flames of conspiracy. Then in 1997, the skies over Phoenix lit up with the Phoenix Lights, one of the most famous mass UFO sightings. Thousands of people saw a V-shaped formation of lights silently gliding over Arizona. The official explanation? Flares dropped by military aircraft during a training exercise, but many folks weren't buying it, and the incident remains one of the most compelling UFO cases to this day. And let's not forget the more recent 2004 Tic Tac UFO encounter, where Navy pilots off the coast of California tracked a bizarre object that outmaneuvered their fighter jets with ease. This one made waves because it wasn't just grainy footage or anecdotal evidence. It was recorded with military-grade sensors and backed up by credible witnesses. So, what have we learned from all this? Well, for one, UFO sightings aren't just the stuff of tinfoil hats and sci-fi movies. They've been happening for decades, and the responses from governments, particularly the U.S. government, have ranged from dismissive to downright mysterious. Are they hiding something, or is it all just a series of misunderstandings? That's the million-dollar question, my friends. Now that we've got a handle on the history, let's turn our attention to the folks who claim to know the real story, the whistleblowers and insiders. These are the people who've stepped out of the shadows to say, hey, there's more going on here than meets the eye. First up, we have Bob Lazar. In 1989, Lazar burst onto the scene with claims that he worked at a site called S4 near Area 51, where he saw firsthand the reverse engineering of alien technology. Lazar's story includes descriptions of anti-gravity propulsion systems and otherworldly craft that defy our current understanding of physics. While many dismiss him as a hoaxer, his detailed descriptions and unwavering consistency over the years have kept the debate alive. Then there's David Grush, a former intelligence officer who recently testified before Congress. Grush claimed that the U.S. government has been aware of non-human craft for decades and even possesses physical evidence of these encounters. His allegations are serious and have reignited calls for transparency and further investigation. Next, we have Commander David Fravor, one of the Navy pilots involved in the 2004 Tic Tac incident. Fravor's account of an object that could accelerate and change direction with impossible speed has added significant weight to the UFO debate. His credibility as a highly trained military aviator makes it hard to dismiss his experience as mere imagination or error. We also have Luis Elizondo, a former Pentagon official who ran the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. Elizondo has been vocal about his belief that some UFO sightings represent real technological advancements that we don't yet understand, and he's pushed for greater governmental transparency on the issue. And let's not forget about Philip Schneider, who claimed to be a government geologist and engineer involved in building underground bases. Schneider alleged encounters with extraterrestrials and shared stories of deep underground military bases where humans and aliens work together, or not so harmoniously, depending on the account. His untimely and suspicious death only added to the mystery surrounding his claims. These whistleblowers and insiders bring a mix of credibility, controversy, and intrigue to the UFO conversation. They make us question what we know and what might still be lurking in classified files. Are they telling the truth, or are they part of an elaborate disinformation campaign? That's for you to decide. But one thing's for sure, they've succeeded in keeping us all on the edge of our seats. All right, my fellow seekers of truth, let's don our lab coats and step into the world of science. We're talking about the nuts and bolts of UFOs and the tantalizing possibility of extraterrestrial life. First off, let's talk about SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Since the 1960s, scientists have been scanning the skies for signals from other civilizations. While we haven't hit the cosmic jackpot yet, the search itself is a testament to our belief that we're not alone in the universe. SETI's approach is methodical and data-driven, far from the realm of conspiracies and tall tales. Next, we have the field of astrobiology, which is all about understanding the potential for life beyond Earth. Researchers study extreme environments on our own planet, like deep-sea hydrothermal vents and acidic hot springs, to get a sense of where life might exist elsewhere. If microbes can thrive in boiling acid, who's to say they can't survive on Mars or Europa? Now let's get into the physics of it all. One of the biggest scientific challenges with UFO sightings is the reported flight characteristics of these objects. Accelerating at incredible speeds, making sharp turns, and hovering without visible means of propulsion. These behaviors defy our current understanding of aerodynamics and propulsion technology. Scientists like those in AATIP and its successor programs have been studying these phenomena, trying to figure out if these objects represent advanced technology, natural phenomena, or something else entirely. Speaking of advanced technology, some theories suggest that what we're seeing could be future human tech. That's right, time travel. Imagine if our great great grandkids have figured out how to travel back in time and they're zipping around in craft that look like UFOs. It's a wild theory, but hey, this is broadcasting seeds where we plant all kinds of ideas. Lastly, we have the Drake equation, a formula developed by Dr. Frank Drake to estimate the number of civilizations in our galaxy with which we might be able to communicate. The equation considers factors like the rate of star formation, the fraction of those stars with planets, and the number of planets that could potentially support life. While the numbers are still a matter of debate, the equation itself underscores the scientific basis for believing we're not alone. So, what does science tell us about UFOs and extraterrestrial life? Well, it's a mixed bag. We have tantalizing clues and a lot of open questions. The scientific community is taking these questions seriously, even if they don't have all the answers yet. Whether these UFOs are extraterrestrial, future humans, or just really clever weather balloons, the quest for answers is on. Government disclosure and how the public has reacted. It's been a roller coaster, and we're all strapped in for the ride. In recent years, we've seen an unprecedented level of transparency from governments about UFOs. It all kicked off in 2017 when the New York Times published a bombshell report revealing the existence of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. Suddenly, UFOs were back in the mainstream, and they weren't just for sci-fi buffs and conspiracy theorists anymore. Fast forward to 2020, and we've got the Pentagon officially releasing videos of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, captured by Navy pilots, the very same tic-tac footage we mentioned earlier. These videos showed objects performing maneuvers that baffled even the most seasoned aviators. The government didn't just stop there. They admitted they had no idea what these things were. Then came the 2021 report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which looked into 144 UAP sightings by military personnel. The report concluded that most of these sightings couldn't be easily explained, and a few even displayed advanced technology beyond our current capabilities. This wasn't some fringe conspiracy. It was an official government document acknowledging the mystery. Now, how has the public reacted to all this? Well, it's been a mix of excitement, skepticism, and a whole lot of memes. On one hand, we have those who feel vindicated. After years of being labeled as crackpots, they're finally seeing their beliefs taken seriously. On the other hand, we have the skeptics, who argue that these disclosures are just the tip of the iceberg and that the real juicy stuff is still being kept under wraps. Social media has played a huge role in shaping public perception. Hashtags like Dark UFO Twitter have become hotspots for discussion, debate, and, let's be honest, a fair amount of trolling. The internet is buzzing with theories, from the sensible to the downright bizarre. Some folks believe these disclosures are a precursor to a more significant revelation, while others think it's all a distraction from other pressing issues. And then there are those who remain on the fence, cautiously intrigued, but not entirely convinced. They're waiting for more concrete evidence, more detailed reports, and maybe even a little face-to-face time with our supposed extraterrestrial visitors before they make up their minds. So, where does this leave us? We're in uncharted territory, with governments inching toward transparency and the public hungry for answers. Whether this leads to a full disclosure or more questions remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the conversation is far from over. Let's talk about the philosophical and existential implications of potential extraterrestrial contact. Buckle up, because this is where things get really interesting and maybe a little mind-bending. First off, let's consider what it would mean for our understanding of humanity's place in the universe. For centuries, we've grappled with the question, are we alone? If we were to confirm the existence of extraterrestrial life, it would be a paradigm shift of epic proportions. It would challenge our notions of uniqueness and make us rethink our role in the cosmic neighborhood. Philosophically, the discovery of alien life could force us to reevaluate our beliefs and values. Religions might need to reconcile their doctrines with the existence of other sentient beings. Some might see this as a validation of their faith, while others might struggle with the implications. Imagine the debates and discussions that would erupt as theologians, philosophers, and scientists all weigh in on the subject. Then there's the question of communication. If we were to make contact, how would we communicate with beings that might have completely different ways of perceiving and understanding the universe? Would we even be able to understand each other? Or would we be like ants trying to communicate with humans? The challenge of establishing meaningful dialogue could redefine the fields of linguistics, cognitive science, and artificial intelligence. There's also the ethical dimension. How would we handle the knowledge of other civilizations? Would we approach them with curiosity and a spirit of cooperation? Or would we succumb to fear and mistrust? The way we choose to interact with extraterrestrial beings could reflect our own values and priorities. It's a test of our maturity as a species. And let's not forget the potential impact on our daily lives. The confirmation of extraterrestrial life could spur technological advancements as we seek to understand and possibly integrate alien technology. It could lead to new industries, new forms of entertainment, and even new social structures. But it could also bring about uncertainty and fear as we navigate the unknown. Finally, there's the existential perspective. Knowing we're not alone could either make us feel incredibly small in the grand scheme of things, or profoundly connected to a larger, more complex universe. It might inspire a sense of unity and purpose, encouraging us to work together to explore and understand our place in the cosmos. So, as we ponder these possibilities, we must remember that the journey of discovery is just as important as the destination. Whether or not we ever make contact, the quest for understanding helps us grow as individuals and as a society. It challenges us to look beyond our immediate surroundings and consider the vast, mysterious universe we're a part of. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of today's journey into the unknown. We've explored the historical sightings, listened to the whistleblowers, delved into the science, analyzed the government disclosures, and pondered the philosophical and existential implications of extraterrestrial contact. It's been quite a ride, hasn't it? If there's one thing we've learned today, it's that the universe is vast, mysterious, and full of possibilities. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between, the search for truth about UFOs and extraterrestrial life is a quest that brings out our curiosity, our creativity, and our desire to understand the cosmos. Before we wrap up, I'd like to remind you to like, share, and review the podcast. Your support helps Broadcasting Seeds grow and reach more curious minds like yours. If you enjoyed this episode, tell your friends, your family, and maybe even that guy who's always talking about UFOs at your local coffee shop. Let's keep the conversation going and continue to explore the strange and the unexplained together. You can find us on social media, where we'll be sharing more intriguing content and engaging with you, our fantastic audience. And don't forget to tune in next time as we dive into another fascinating topic that will surely plant more seeds of curiosity in your mind. Until then, stay curious, stay open-minded, and keep looking up. I'm Bennett Tanton, signing off from Broadcasting Seeds. Take care, everyone.
Yeah. I got bad thoughts that make my mind scared. Hold me hostage and they don't fight fair. Who gon' pray for me and wipe all my tears? Who gon' save me if you not right here? Move this darkness and make my sight clear. Take me your way cause I don't like here. Ghosts of my past, they fill in the night air. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Drowning, I'm off the deep end. Apparitions of all my demons. All my thoughts are committing treason. All alone, who gon' hear me screaming? Manifestations of my fears. Regrets that stretched out for light years. Can almost touch the light, homie, it's right there. Body free but trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, don't let me drown.